everyone, I'm Lynn, the MC of Real English, the podcast, and I'm very happy you are here with me today. This channel is made for people all over the world who want to learn English in a simple, natural, and friendly way. Here we learn English by listening, by feeling, and by practicing through real stories. You don't need to stop the audio. You don't need to understand every word. Just relax and listen, because the more you listen, the better your English will become. On this podcast, I speak slowly and clearly so you can follow easily. Today's story is a touching story about life, silence, and courage. It is about a person who waited too long to speak and another person who learned how important a voice can be. Today's story is called The Letter That Waited. Now take a deep breath, open your heart, and let's begin our story together. The story begins in a small, quiet town where nothing special seemed to happen. There was a young woman named Anna. Anna was not famous and she was not rich. She lived a simple and quiet life. She worked in a small library and loved books very much. Every morning she woke up early, made a cup of tea, and walked slowly to work. Anna liked silence, she liked soft light, and she liked helping people find the right book. Many people did not notice her because she spoke softly and moved gently, but Anna noticed everything around her. She noticed the sound of rain on the window, the smell of old books, and the smiles on people's faces when they found a story they loved. Anna believed that words were powerful. She believed words could change people, but she did not believe they could change her own life. One cold morning while Anna was cleaning old shelves in the library, she found a small wooden box hidden behind dusty books. The box was old and broken, and inside there was only one thing, a yellow letter. The paper was thin and the handwriting was careful but shaky. Anna felt something strange in her heart as she held the letter. It felt like the letter was waiting for someone. There was no name on it, only one sentence that said, "To the one who finds this." Anna hesitated for a moment, but then slowly opened the letter and began to read. The letter said, "If you are reading this, I am no longer here. My name is Thomas, and I am writing this because I do not want to disappear without a voice. I was not brave in life, but I want to be brave in this letter." Anna stopped and took a deep breath before continuing. "I lived in this town many years ago. I worked hard and I loved deeply, but I never said the words I wanted to say. I was afraid of being seen, afraid of being rejected, and afraid of being small, so I stayed silent." Anna felt her chest tighten because these words felt close to her heart. The letter continued, "If you find this letter, please remember one thing. Your life matters, your voice matters. Even if you feel invisible, please do not make the same mistake I made. Please speak, please love, please live." When Anna finished reading, the library felt very quiet and her eyes were full of tears. She did not know Thomas, but she felt connected to him, and from that moment her life slowly began to change. After that day, Anna could not forget the letter and the name Thomas. The words stayed in her mind when she walked to work, when she sat alone in the library, and even when she tried to sleep at night. She began to feel that the letter was not only a message from the past, but also a message for her present life. Anna started to notice how often she stayed silent, how often she wanted to speak but chose to listen instead, how often she hid her feelings behind a small smile. One afternoon, she stood in front of the mirror in her small room and asked herself a simple question. What am I afraid of? She did not have an answer, but she knew the fear was real. The next day, she returned to the library earlier than usual and opened the wooden box again. She read the letter one more time, but this time she read it slowly and carefully. She felt the pain in Thomas's words, but she also felt his hope. She understood that Thomas wanted someone to continue what he could not finish. Days passed, and Anna began to ask people in the town about Thomas. She spoke to old visitors in the library, to shop owners, and to people who had lived in the town for a long time. Many people did not remember him clearly, but they remembered his kindness. They said he worked at the post office, that he helped others with their letters, and that he always listened more than he spoke. One woman said Thomas used to say that letters were voices that could travel when people were too afraid to speak. This sentence stayed with Anna for a long time. One evening, Anna sat at her desk and opened her notebook. She decided to write back, even though she knew Thomas would never read it. She wrote about her quiet life, her love for words, and her fear of being seen. She wrote slowly, choosing simple words, but every word came from her heart. When she finished writing, she felt lighter, as if a heavy stone had left her chest. The next morning, Anna placed her letter inside the wooden box and put it back on the shelf. She felt calm for the first time in many days, but something else began to change. Anna started to speak more, not loudly, but honestly. She talked to people in the library. She asked them about their favorite books, and she listened to their stories. One day, a young boy came into the library and said he wanted to learn English, but felt stupid because he could not understand. Anna looked at him and remembered herself. She smiled and said, "You are not stupid. You are learning, and learning takes time." She sat with him and explained words slowly. She did not rush. She did not judge, and the boy slowly relaxed. Anna realized that her voice had value, that her words could help someone, just like Thomas's letter helped her. Weeks later, the boy returned with a big smile and said he understood more English now. Anna felt warmth in her heart. She understood that small moments could bring big changes, and that sometimes helping one person was enough to change her own life. Anna began to feel more confident. She raised her hand in meetings, she shared her ideas, and people listened, not because her voice was loud, but because it was sincere. One afternoon, Anna received a letter at the library. It had no return address. Her hands trembled slightly as she opened it. Inside was a short note that said, "Thank you for your words. I found the box, and your letter helped me." Anna's heart started beating fast. She realized the wooden box was no longer just a memory of the past. It was now a bridge between people, between voices that needed to be heard. And Anna understood that the story was not finished yet, because the letter that waited was still waiting, and more voices were about to speak. After Anna read the short note, she could not stop thinking about it. Someone else had found the wooden box. Someone else had read her words. And for the first time in her life, Anna felt truly seen. She sat quietly in the library and looked at the shelves around her. The same shelves she had cleaned every day without thinking, but now they felt different, like they were holding many unseen voices. Anna decided not to hide the box anymore. She moved it to a small table near the reading area and placed a simple note beside it that said, "If you have something you cannot say, you can write it here." She was nervous. She was afraid people would laugh or ignore it, but she remembered Thomas and his fear, and she chose courage instead. At first, nothing happened. Days passed, and the box stayed empty. Anna felt disappointed, but she did not remove it. Then one afternoon, an old man slowly walked to the table. He looked around carefully, and then wrote something on a small piece of paper. He folded it and placed it inside the box. Anna did not read it. She understood that some words were not meant to be seen. After that, more people began to write. A young mother wrote about feeling lonely. A student wrote about fear of failure, and a shop owner wrote about losing someone he loved. The box slowly filled with letters, and the library felt warmer, more alive. Anna noticed people staying longer, reading more, and talking softly to each other. Something invisible but powerful was growing. One evening, Anna stayed late and opened the box. She did not read every letter, but she touched them gently and felt the weight of human feelings inside. She understood that Thomas had started something without knowing it, and she was now continuing his unfinished story. But with this change came fear again. Anna worried about responsibility. She worried about saying the wrong thing, and she worried about being judged. One night, She could not sleep and sat by her window listening to the rain. She thought about her life, her quiet choices, and the moments she stayed silent when she wanted to speak. She asked herself again what she was afraid of, and this time she found an answer. She was afraid of being important, afraid that her actions might matter. The next day a woman came into the library. With red eyes and shaking hands, she asked Anna if she could talk. They sat together quietly, and the woman said she had written a letter, but did not know what to do next. Anna listened without interrupting. She did not try to fix the problem. She just listened. And in that moment, Anna realized something simple but deep. Being heard was sometimes more powerful than being helped. After the woman left, Anna felt both tired and strong. She understood that voices carried pain, but also healing. A few days later, the town newspaper wrote a short article about the letterbox in the library. People from other places started visiting. Some came just to read, some came to write, and some came to sit quietly. Anna's life was no longer invisible, but she was still the same person. Soft-spoken, thoughtful, and kind. The difference was that now she accepted her voice. She accepted that her words could change space, change people, and change herself. And somewhere in that quiet library, between old books and folded letters, Thomas's voice was still alive, not as a memory, but as a living connection between strangers, and the story was moving closer to its most important moment. As the letterbox became a quiet symbol of the town, the library changed in ways Anna never expected. People no longer came only for books. They came for silence, for safety, and for a place where their voices could rest. Anna felt proud but also uneasy. She wondered how long something so fragile could last. One morning, a lawyer from the town hall visited the library and told Anna that the building might be closed for renovation and possibly sold in the future. Anna felt the ground move under her feet. She thanked him politely, but her hands were cold. That day she could not focus on her work. All she could think about was the box, the letters, and the voices that had found a home there. That evening she opened the box and for the first time decided to read one letter fully. The handwriting was familiar, careful but weak. Her breath stopped when she read the name at the bottom. It was Thomas. But this was not the letter she had found before. This one was different. It said that Thomas had a daughter, that he had left the town suddenly, and that he had carried regret with him until the end of his life. Anna realized with shock that Thomas had not been alone, and that someone else had lived with his silence. The next days were heavy. Anna searched old records, newspapers, and town documents. She wanted to understand the full truth. Slowly, she discovered that Thomas's daughter had been sent away to live with relatives after her mother died, and Thomas had never found the courage to follow her. Anna felt anger and sadness mixing inside her. She wondered how many lives silence could hurt. One afternoon, a woman in her 30s entered the library and stood quietly near the box. She did not write. She did not move. She just looked at it. For a long time, Anna felt something strange and walked toward her. They looked at each other, and in that moment Anna understood without words. The woman spoke softly and said her name was Claire. She said she used to come to the library with her father many years ago. Anna felt her heart pound. Claire said her father loved letters and believed words could save people, but he could not save himself. Tears fell as she spoke, and Anna listened with care and respect. Claire said she had returned to the town after many years because she felt something was calling her. When she heard about the letterbox, she knew it was him. She knew it was Thomas. Anna felt overwhelmed. The story had come full circle. The past and the present were now standing together in the same room. Claire took out a small folded letter and placed it inside the box. She said it was the last letter her father had written but never sent. Anna did not open it. She knew it did not belong to her. As Claire left, she thanked Anna for giving her father a voice and for giving her a place to say goodbye. That night, Anna sat alone in the library. surrounded by letters and shadows. She felt the weight of everything that had happened. She understood now that the box was not just about speaking, it was also about listening, about holding space for pain without fear. And even if the library closed one day, the voices would not disappear, because they had already changed the people who shared them, and Anna knew that one final choice still waited for her. The final choice that waited for Anna came quietly, without warning. One morning a formal letter arrived from the town hall confirming that the library would close in 3 months. The building would be sold, and all activities would have to end. Anna read the letter many times, hoping the words would change, but they did not. For a long time she sat still, listening to the soft sounds of the library, the turning of pages, the slow footsteps, and the quiet breathing of people who felt safe there. She felt fear again, but this time it was different. It was not fear of being seen. It was fear of losing something that mattered. Anna thought about Thomas, about Claire, about every letter in the box, and she understood that silence would now be a choice, not a habit. That evening she stood in front of the box and placed a new note beside it. The note said, "These voices will not disappear." She began to speak to people, not with a loud voice, but with a clear one. She told them about the closure, about the letters, and about what the library had become. People listened, and for the first time Anna did not doubt herself. She organized a final gathering in the library, not a protest, not a meeting, but a moment of shared voices. On the last evening before the closure, people filled the space. They brought letters, memories, and quiet courage. One by one, some chose to read their letters aloud. Others simply held them close. Claire was there, standing near the box. When it was Anna's turn, she spoke slowly. She said that the library had taught her that words did not need permission to exist, that voices did not need to be perfect to be heard, and that listening was an act of love. Her hands shook, but she did not stop. She felt Thomas with her, not as a memory of regret, but as a reminder of what courage could become. When the evening ended, Anna closed the box for the last time, but she did not lock it away. She carried it with her. In the weeks that followed, Anna left her job and began something new. She started a small listening project, a simple space where people could share stories, learn, and speak freely, sometimes in their own language, sometimes in a new one, sometimes in English. Anna understood that learning a language was not about sounding smart. It was about connecting hearts, about daring to speak even when words feel heavy, and this was the true lesson Thomas had left behind. The letter that waited was never meant to stay hidden. It was meant to move, to travel, and to teach others that their voices mattered. And as Anna looked forward, she knew the story was complete, not because it ended, but because it had begun again in many other voices, in many other places, and in every person who chose to speak instead of staying silent. Years later, Anna often thought about the small library and the wooden box, not with sadness, but with gratitude. She had learned that stories never truly end. They simply change form. Sometimes they become letters, sometimes voices, and sometimes quiet moments between people who listen to each other. Anna continued her listening project and watched how people changed when they felt safe enough to speak. Some spoke in perfect sentences, others used broken words, gestures, or silence, and all of it was enough, because meaning was not born from grammar alone. It was born from courage. Anna often remembered Thomas and understood that his silence had taught her how powerful a voice could be, not only in life, but also in learning. Learning a language was not about speed or perfection. It was about patience, repetition, and kindness toward yourself, just like listening to a story again and again until it slowly became clear. And this is why stories matter so much, because they allow us to learn without fear, to understand without pressure, and to grow without shame. Somewhere in the world, someone was listening to a story, maybe while walking, maybe while resting, maybe while trying to learn a new language, and that person might feel invisible, unsure or afraid to speak, but Anna believed that voices always find their way when we give them time. And if you are listening now, this story is also for you. Your voice matters, your journey matters, and every word you learn is a step toward connection. The letter that waited has now reached you, not as paper and ink, but as sound and meaning. And when you choose to listen, to practice, and to speak, you become part of the story too.